fight fans. So Dana White had made an announcement about some big fights, and this one's pretty big, guys. I gotta say it. I gotta give him props because he announced the May card. I believe that might be 328, if I'm correct. It is in New Jersey. I think it's Newark or something like that. But nonetheless, for the middleweight championship of the world, you got Khamzat Chimaev taking on Sean Strickland, guys. That is some big news right there. That's going to be a very, very good fight. Or it could be actually a one-sided fight. You know, we all thought that DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev fight was going to be a bit of a back-and-forth war. But, you know, ended up being one hell of a letdown, I guess you could say. Khamzat pretty much just destroyed him. And, Khamzat is just a beast. Khamzat is just a one hell of a beast of a fighter, especially when it comes to his wrestling. And now that he has his cardio dialed in, because that was a major issue in his overall MMA fights was his cardio. We always questioned that, whether or not he'd be able to withstand the punishment, withstand anybody giving him trouble or anything like that. But he kind of showed us that, hey, he's on his A game now. So with that being said, he's going against Sean Strickland, who is a beast himself. The guy, former middleweight champion in the world, beat Israel Adesanya, has beaten some big names. Yes, he's lost a few. He lost those 2 fights against DDP. A lot of people felt like he won that first DDP fight, but, and he mentioned that he was hurt in that second DDP fight. But, he still has went toe-to-toe with a lot of good guys, a lot of guys that, have gone and done really good with their careers, like Imavov. A lot of people thought that Imavov was going to get this next shot, but it didn't turn out that way. And I'm actually very happy for that, because with Khamzat Chimaev and Imavov, it just doesn't sound as good as Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev. Because, guys, let's face facts. The fight might be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. We'll talk about it in a second. But what's going to be even more interesting is that the build-up. The press conferences. We already know Sean Strickland. This guy, when it comes to fighting, he does not hold back in the press conferences. He will let everything out. Let it all out. No holds barred. Doesn't care if he's going to get censored. Doesn't care what. Doesn't care about anything. He is going to pretty much call out Khamzat and call him every single name in the book. And it's going to be crazy. I honestly feel like this is going to be a fight that's going to happen before the fight. This is going to be one of those where there might be even a fight after the fight. There's going to be all kinds of craziness that's going to transpire with these two. Because Khamzat, he's someone that does not take bullshit whatsoever. He is somebody that will come after you and will, try to brawl. We all remember that whole Nate Diaz, Kevin Holland, Khamzat Chimaev fiasco that happened backstage. Of course, that was all kind of rumors, but nonetheless, we all seen some footage that these guys were ready to brawl with each other. So now, with Sean Strickland, I really feel like they're going to need security there. They really are. Because these guys are not going to play. These guys are really going to go after it 100%. So with that being said, I'm very excited for the press conferences more than the actual fight itself. The fight itself, again, I'm really curious to see how Sean Strickland can hold his own against Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling. Because I think that is the biggest question out of everything. Can Sean Strickland stay on the feet? When it comes to the feet, it's not like it's going to be a cakewalk for Sean Strickland, because Sean Strickland, he has great boxing, great teep kicks and all these other things that he has to keep himself on the feet and give guys trouble and give guys some really, really difficult times. But Khamzat Chimaev has went toe-to-toe with a lot of people, and Khamzat Chimaev has actually knocked out a lot of people. That great fight that he had with Gilbert Burns was one hell of a fight itself, so, Khamzat can actually strike really, really good, but I feel like Sean Strickland is a little bit better of a striker than Khamzat Chimaev. I would give the edge just a little bit to Sean Strickland. So it's really all about that question of the wrestling. Can Sean Strickland stand up and keep it standing up? Because if you look at all his fights, Israel Adesanya, DDP, Paulo Costa, maybe Imavov, not a lot of them had great, outstanding wrestling. So this is by far his highest caliber wrestler to date, if not ever. Ever, because there's not a lot of great high caliber wrestlers in the middleweight division outside of Khamzat Chimaev. So I'm not sure how he's going to be able to prepare for that. He's going to have to really, really dig in and look for somebody, because it's in May and we're in the middle of the March now. So yeah, I really would think he needs to start practicing. I'm sure they already got their notice. I'm sure they've already been told that they're the ones that are up next, that they're the ones going to be fighting for the title. So yeah, that goes without saying. I'm sure they already know what's up. The training camps between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland. So with that being said, guys, I'm very excited. I'm happy that this fight's coming into fruition. I'd much rather see this fight than any other fight in the middleweight division. So guys, let me know what do you think about this fight. How excited are you? Or maybe you feel like we should be getting a different middleweight fight. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.